Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the BowSpring. And so some of you may be wondering, what is the BowSpring? So the BowSpring is a postural alignment system that a friend of mine developed, and I've been studying it really since it was first created about 3 years ago. And so I have been really, I'm in love with this practice right now. And so it's really an evolution of the previous yoga models that we've been accustomed to for the past several years. And for me, for really, the past almost 10, 11, 12 years, I've been studying traditional modern yoga. And so this system with the BowSpring, it's really different from the previous teachings, quite a bit different, almost so much that I could say that a lot of the alignment actually contradicts some of the previous studies. So the BowSpring is it's a whole body system, and it's based upon really awakening the muscles in the body, specifically the back body primarily, because that's where we find an area of disconnect, generally speaking, more so globally, is that we've become such a society of sitters that technology has been such a wonderful advance for all of us human beings. It allows us to stay connected. It's allowing me to have this camera conversation with you, and internet, and so on and so forth. And so it's a blessing but also a curse, because what's happened is that globally, culturally, people are sitting more and more and more and more, right? And so what happens with that is we get this kind of closed posture where you're rounding over essentially, and the back body comes into this kind of C curve, and there's nothing happening there muscularly, if you will. And so the BowSpring alignment is very much primordial. So it's a very open posture. All the posturing is very open, and it's a very primal posturing. And another reason why I guess that that speaks to me is because I'm here living in the jungle in Costa Rica, and it's the jungle, and you're talking about a primal energy. I mean, there's monkeys that are going to come through, probably. We may hear them even on this video shortly. So it's a very primal energy, and so I guess I was able to adapt to this methodology even more, because I'm like, it just makes sense down here. And not to mention, the quality of the posture is super strong and courageous and powerful and athletic. And so one of the other things that I do here in Costa Rica is surf. And so surfing requires a great deal of strength and courage and really tenacity, and to be able to get out there and power through the waves and be able to withstand some of the larger days and days when it's a little scary, and it takes a lot out of you. And so if you're not in good physical condition, you're not going to perform well in the ocean. So that's the other beautiful thing about the BowSpring, is that I would say, as far as from an athlete's perspective, this particular style is it's going to really make you strong and fit and capable. And I'm not knocking the previous yogas, and by any means, they've served us quite well throughout the years. It's just that the previous yoga models were, I'd say, designed for our previous culture, and our societal structures, and at a time before we were so embedded and connected with technology, right? People were out working in fields. They weren't sitting in cars all day and sitting in front of televisions and computers. That's only happened in the last 60, 70 years. So a lot has changed. So our yoga practice should evolve as well, right? So the previous teachings were quite linear, and also viewing the body as a more static structure. So the poses were very static, and like the body more of, I should say, a compressive structure, as opposed to being more of fluidity and more of a dynamic movement. Because as humans, what do? We're in constant motion. We're always moving, right? And so we're also sitting a lot, but we're moving a lot as well. And my point is that we want to embrace dynamic movement as opposed to, let's say, static, where we're holding postures like statues. These poses, we incorporate a lot of kind of bouncing and more of a pulsing energy in each of the postures. And the other thing that we can look at is that the body is made of mostly water, right? It's like 75% water, and it's not a compressive structure. If we think of the bones and how they're held by the musculature, the tendons, and the ligaments, we're basically creating a system of tensegrity where we're pulling so that the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments are actually suspending the bones, right? So it's this whole framework of fascia and musculature that's actually what the body is made of, more so than just the dense bones, right? So that's a little bit about the BowSpring, and there's so much more, and we'll have to kind of break it apart piece by piece, because it is kind of it's new and it's a little complicated, of course, and so I'd love to go a little bit more deeply into that in little sections so that you can get a little better taste for it. But that's a kind of general overview as to why I am heading in this direction with my teaching. And the other is that it's therapeutic. Like the posturing and the alignment, it's so therapeutic. And that's the other thing that I can get on board with, is that I felt like our previous practice, it was more about what looked cool. You know, like if you could stick your foot behind your head and stand on one leg while, you know, hopping up and down, well, that was great, right? Well, the thing with that is that it's not about the bright and shiny. It's about what is going to sustain me through the duration of my life. What is going to keep me fit and healthy and strong and vibrant and able to tackle waves into my 60s and 70s, right? That's the desire. It's not about looking cool or, you know, doing that amazing pose. It's what's going to serve me best in my body while I'm here in this life enjoying it. So again, we'll go over some more of this stuff in some of the videos to come, and thanks just for listening and for allowing me to share with you. I appreciate your time. And again, if you would like to work with me one-on-one privately, you can go to my website and check out the coaching services tab and contact me, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out the videos, and there'll be more to come. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.